of Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris
me
and Gini.
With me. Also with her.
Yeah. So tonight, those of you that are watching, I will be discussing in between when Chris is talking all of our social media platforms where you can find us, and we'll go from there. So what's going on here? Okay. Welcome everybody on Instagram. We have some TikTokers on. We have LinkedIn, YouTube.
All the Facebooks.
So let's get it going. All right. Click up. There you go. Hello, Patricia. How are you? Patrice?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she had her eyes dilated today. She can't see anything. She's basically blind.
A lot of you know that I am getting an ocular lens put into my eye, and I will go live soon once I do my pre-op. I did all my testing. So today I had to go back to a retina specialist, and I'm really blurry. So please bear with us and me reading the comments. And if you guys can, wait till Chris is done talking about the topic before you guys start asking questions, please. Oh, Patricia, she's watching us from YouTube. Rodney, Clearwater, Florida in the house. Woo,
what's up, Rodney?
We're in Tampa. Yeah, okay. So let's get into it because it's a huge thing tonight. So I picked topics. I know a lot of you give us some topics, but I picked topics because of what I get, my phone calls, the comments or the complaints or the concerns from everybody messaging me. So today we're going to talk about, and I know a lot of you really want to hear this because a lot of you are new and a lot of you don't know. Your claims are getting denied, even if it's with our offices.
It happens, but what are you going to do about it?
Your claim is getting denied. You have a closed claim. You have a pending claim. You have a claim in review, and you guys don't understand what to do. So we're going to talk about denied claims, how it gets started, why it gets denied, and then give you the answer to fixing it, even without a doctor in your area. Whether it's us or another doctor, we're here to help. So, any housekeeping while I share?
So, tonight, many of you are going to be watching and you've had a denied claim. And
Thank you, Ms. Davis.
You're probably thinking, why did my claim get denied? Feel free and just tell us about it tonight.
Yeah.
If anybody has their denial letter with them, you can look at it and say, it says specifically your claim is denied because, and I can tell you what the deal is with that. But generally, I'm going to talk to you about why claims get denied and how to fix them. And for those of you that have that live in areas where I don't have an office there yet at federal injury centers, you're going to have a struggle. And so I'm going to teach you how to get your claim accepted on your own without having a federal injury centers doctor. Now, if you're in an area where there's a federal injury centers office, it's no problem. And listen, we get people that come in and their claim gets denied, but we know how to fix it. And it happens. The very best narrative report will still lead to a denied claim sometimes. The difference between us and everyone else is we never give up. And so if we see a denial, we'll just fix it. Other offices, other doctors will see a denial and go, well, that's the end. We're finished.
Yeah.
So, we're going to teach you what to do when your claim gets denied, how to fix it, and how to go into a place that is not trained to do what we do and still have a fighting chance at getting a claim approved. So this is all really important because the number one problem you guys have is you don't have enough doctors to get claims accepted. And we're trying to fix that. If you're new, my name is Chris, is Gini, but this is Federal Injury Centers. You're at Wednesday night OWCP chats with us. But we started Federal Injury Centers as a franchise so that we could grow a systematic approach to how to get your claims accepted around the country. Right now, we've got 50-something offices in 20-something states. And I say this every time because I never know how many we have. Some come, some go. If you're in an area where offices have gone away, well, that's just because I only like the best of the best to be part of our franchise.
Yeah.
But what we've been able to do is grow this thing to a place that has been unmatched in history. I was saying to one of my team members the other day on a meeting that we're the largest federal workers' comp practice in the history of the world. And it got a laugh because, she said, well, Chris, you're always saying things are massive and epic and I like to use those big words, but this is true. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened in federal comp. And so tonight you're going to be able to hear straight from me on how to get your claims accepted, how we go about getting claims accepted, and what we do about it when claims get denied. And if you are fortunate enough to be in an area where there's a federal injury centers, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Because we simply specialize in getting claims accepted. So we're going to show you how to do that tonight and tell you what to do if your claim's denied. It's going to be great.
Yeah. So just to let you guys know, if you have friends that don't have social media, we are on LinkedIn. We are on YouTube. So YouTube is always free. You don't need an account. We are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. And we are on several Facebook pages. My page, Gini Helms, Breaking OWCP Federal Injury Centers. So
yeah.
Again, we're going to talk about denied claims, what to do when you filed your claim and it winds up getting denied. What is going on with that? So if you're on TikTok, don't forget to hit the like, love button for us.
Yeah.
And those of you on Instagram, give us a wave, and everybody else, hello. And
now, before we go ahead.
I know everybody is wishing Chris happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday. He's the whopping big 4'8".
That's right.
4'8". So if you're on here, let's get some hearts for Chris and wish him happy birthday. He's done so much and he cares about you guys so much. I don't know anybody that has a heart the way he does for you guys. I mean, I do, but I'm just giving him the credit tonight. So happy birthday, Christopher.
So actually, hundreds and hundreds of you gave me nice birthday wishes yesterday. So thanks for that.
Yes.
It's very humbling. I still feel like I'm 24, not 48.
24.
And I feel that way until I walk up the stairs. Like, oh, crap. I'm actually 48. I'm not 24. But, in your head, you're still the athlete from when you were a kid. And some of my high school friends would be like, well, you weren't really an athlete then either. But, of course, they were watching me from behind.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys, yeah. Anyways, thanks for the birthday wishes.
Yeah.
And tonight also, you're going to have lots of our offices, our franchise offices on, saying hello, telling you where they're located. They like to participate just so they can let you know they're there. And they like to be here to hear what you're thinking, what you're saying. So from time to time, I'll stop and welcome them on and tell you something about them. So thanks for your patience on that. They want you to be here to learn from me, and they want to be here to learn from you. So everyone, when they're on, just tell them hello.
Yeah. So you'll see it on here at the very end, 48. That's the new 32. Dr.
That's
Cooper.
right.
What was I going to say? What was I saying?
I don't know.
Oh,
almost nobody knows.
I know. I have such bad short-term memory. At the end of all of this, like right at the last 10 minutes, I'm going to go over all of our locations. I'm not referring anybody. I am just going over all our locations, and we'll go from there. So Dr. Dorfman is on. We have Dr. Cooper on. We have Federal Injury Centers of Manhattan on.
I saw Jacqueline from Charlotte.
Charlotte, yes.
And there's others. Actually, we're going to have to scroll back there so we can let everybody know who's there. But while you're figuring out who all's here, and we'll say hello to them as we go, I'm going to go ahead and start with the topic for tonight. If you're new, again, you come here to learn something about OWCP, and if you have questions, you type them into the comments. She'll read your questions, and I'm going to answer them. Be
patient, because I'm still fuzzy and blurry from my eye stuff.
Right,
today.
She's blind as a bat.
Yeah, I am.
For today. So, but we're going to try to answer all your questions tonight, so tomorrow you don't have those anymore.
Yeah, we have Federal Injury Centers of Roscoe, Illinois, Federal Injury Centers of Virginia Beach on. Thank you guys for coming on. And we tell our doctors to come on here, Federal Injury Centers of Charlotte. We tell our doctors to come on here so they can hear your questions and hear what the response is from Chris. So they're getting additional training as well. So today we're talking all about denied claims, all of it. So what happens? You file your claim, whether you file a CA1 or a CA2. You go to a doctor, whether it's our doctor or a random doctor, and it comes back 6 weeks later, you have a denied claim. What do we do then?
No, let me start with, okay, that's a loaded question. If you go to their doctor or our doctor, you get a denied claim. Last year, we had over 1,120 claims approved, and we're going to get over 3,000 claims approved this year. Docs that are on listening, you heard me right. We're going to get 3 times more approved claims this year than last year. So get it in gear. Let's get that going. So that's what we do. We specialize in approved claims. But here's what happens for most of you. Most of you don't have a single doctor that can help. Okay, that's a sad fact. I mean, Tanya Ferry's here. We love Tanya. She has to drive hours.
Yeah,
to
to a
get
different
to a doctor.
state.
And and it's rough for her. And it's many of you don't even have that opportunity to where you could drive someplace, to the neighboring state. So you're going to all the wrong doctors. It's not your fault. It's just that you don't have a trained office in your area. And so I always say when I'm teaching this live to union events, that these are the categories of doctors that are going to get your claim denied. It is your family practice doctor, the local chiropractor, urgent care, the ER, the orthopedic surgeon, and other specialists, and the VA doctors. And the reason that is none of them are trained to do what we need them to do. So you go to your family doctor and, you love your family doctor. You tell everybody to go there, but that person is not trained in OWCP. And you want to go to your surgeon because all of you need to quit saying this, but you all say, you need an orthopedic. You need to go to an ortho. Well, orthos don't want you. They don't want you. They're not going to write your narrative. They're not getting your claim accepted. They want your health insurance and your copays and your deductibles. That's what they want.
Yeah.
Other than that, they want a claim that's already approved. Okay. And that's where you need an OWCP doctor. Sorry, I saw something about law. We'll address that in a second. I like law. Anyways, urgent cares. You go there and a nurse practitioner sees you or a PA, and that's fine. We have nurse practitioners and PAs in every one of our offices, but they don't get counter signatures by an MD, which means your claim is ultimately denied. Okay, so you're going to the urgent care to get a denial. Same things happens at an ER, except for if you see an MD in an ER, that medical doctor is really busy and doesn't have time for you.
Yeah.
They're definitely not writing a narrative. The chiropractor, I mean, look, we work with chiropractors all over the place. Okay, but I know. I'm trying not to look. Victor makes me laugh. I'm seeing his cowboy stuff.
It's Eric Flowers.
But we work with chiropractors, and chiropractors can definitely help you. And many of you think, oh, you're at this chiropractic office, I can't go. Well, that's not true. You can, as long as they have medical staff there. The problem with chiropractors is you go to one who doesn't have medical staff. And so their best efforts fall, to a denial. So don't do that to yourself. It's got to be an OWCP clinic. Now, if you go to federal injury centers and you look at an office's website and you say chiropractor and you think, wow, I can't go there, just know you just sent yourself to a denied claim, because wherever else you go is a sure denial. Our chiropractic offices are staffed with medical doctors. And so you can come to us because you're going to be evaluated by a medical doctor who's going to write your report. All right. So that's the difference between us and other chiropractors, is that our chiropractors are there to hire the medical. All right. So, but if you go to those 6 or 7 categories of doctors that I talked about, you're generally going to get a denied claim. And that is the problem. So through this conversation tonight, I'm going to tell you how to get your claim approved without a good doctor, but I'm going to tell you how to avoid denials, the things that you need to do that will strengthen your chance to get an approved claim. So let's start with this. Let's say you have a CA1 claim, and I'm not going to go into great detail on the difference between a CA1 and a CA2. But generally speaking, a CA1 is a form you fill out online with eComp for any injury that happened today in a single shift. And a CA2 is something that developed over a longer period of time. So take a CA1 claim. Now, CA1 claims should get approved. CA2s should get approved, okay? We did 1,120 something of these last year, all approved. But take that initial claim. So you had a CA1 injury. In other words, you got hurt today. The number one thing that everyone misses is they don't write their own personal statement. So I want you all to know you've got to write a statement of what happened in great detail. Where were you? What time was it? What were you lifting? Where were you walking? Were you climbing stairs? What street was it? Who saw it? What happened? Get all the details. When I'm teaching this, I say, everything you can think of, write it down. If you saw a butterfly, write it down. If you heard a horn honk, write it down. If you smelt, I don't know what, write it down. Put all the detail that you can remember from the incident in your personal statement. Now, in a CA2 claim, you can do the same thing. You write a statement on that too, but it's more like, here's what I've been doing for all this time that led to this. And give all the detail you can give, because that great detail that you write should go directly into your doctor's narrative report. And nobody knows what happened to you better than you do. So the best way, the number one thing you can do to get a claim approved, no matter where you are in the country, regardless of what doctor you're with, is write your own personal statement and then require that doctor to incorporate it into their narrative. Now, listen, if you go to a doctor who says, I'm not writing a narrative like that, run like hell and get the hell out of there and find somebody else.
Yeah, a lot of you are saying that the doctors don't want to fix the denials. I've been showing Chris all week, and like he said, get the heck out.
Yeah, no, get the hell out.
Oh.
And, don't stay with a doctor who's going to hurt you. Don't do that to yourself. You don't have to, okay? So what I want you to do is write your own personal statement and give it to your doctor. If your doctor says no, leave. We're out of here. But what we expect is your doctor to say, okay, I'm going to definitely incorporate that. Now, the next thing I want you to do is actually review your narrative report. Don't allow it to go in without looking at it first, because your doctor can do all kinds of things to kill this thing. All right. The biggest thing that happens is doctors use pain. They'll say your diagnosis is low back pain or knee pain or whatever, neck pain, and there's diagnoses for this. But those are denials. Your claims examiner is definitely going to not deny those because they don't accept pain diagnoses. So that's the first thing your doctor does. The second thing your doctor is going to do is have some weak, cowardly statement that says, in all medical probability, or, to the best of, or something that is like, I'm not 100% sure. They're going to say, I'm not 100% sure in like 8 different ways. And that's not how we want it. Our doctors say, in my medical opinion, the following conditions are a direct result of the employee's job descriptions or job duties, period. All right. There's no equivocation. We're unequivocal. It's like, boom. It's like the word shall. It is. It's just how it is. So our doctors write like that. We teach them on day one. If you write like a coward, you can't work here. But we don't do cowardly writing. And you need to make sure your doctor doesn't either. So to recap that, you write your own statement, make sure it's incorporated. Don't allow them to use pain diagnosis, because pain is not a diagnosis. It's a symptom of something else. And don't let them write like a coward. Right? You've got to be able to look at this thing and go, Doc, man, this is going to get denied. Okay, let's fix it now before it goes in. If you do those things, your chances of getting a claim accepted go way up. Okay, regardless of which office you went to, what doctor is your doctor. And those are the things they get missed all the time. The other thing that happens is you don't take your CA1 or your CA2 into the doctor, so they can't read it. So some claims get denied because your supervisor on the second page, or on ECOM's second page, they wrote not in performance of duty, or it was due to willful misconduct, or it was due to intoxication, it was due to intent. That their knowledge of the facts of the claim don't match up with what you said or what a witness statement said. You need to be able to see this stuff and take it to your doctor so they can address it too. I tell these stories all the time, but we had this lady in North Carolina who stepped out of her vehicle into a ditch, and in the ditch was a hole. She stepped right in the hole. She twisted her knee, and she called her supervisor, and on the phone right there at that moment, she said, I stepped in a ditch and twisted my knee. And he said, well, come on back. Let's fill out the form. On the form, the first page is for her. The second page is for the supervisor. And on box 14, she said, I stepped in a hole and twisted my knee. Well, the supervisor in box 35 said, well, my knowledge of the facts of this thing don't match up with what she said. Well, if you say that, what's your reason why? Here's his reason why. Because on the phone, she says she stepped in a ditch, but on this form, she says she stepped in a hole. All right, seriously. So the doctor, because we had a copy of that CA1 form, we could see what the supervisor said. We write paragraphs in our narrative that handle the issues on the CA1. In this particular one, if it was willful misconduct and the supervisor said it was due to that, we would have written a paragraph called willful misconduct. Or if the supervisor said not performance of duty, we would have written a paragraph called performance of duty. But in this case, the supervisor said, my knowledge of the facts of the injury don't match up with what she said, because she said ditch, and then on the paper she said hole. And so the doctor wrote a paragraph called, the hole was in a ditch, you idiot. And that's my favorite story, okay? Because he was pissed, rightfully, and thinking about what's going to happen to this patient. Well, so the hole was in the ditch, you idiot. And he wrote a narrative explaining that the hole was in the ditch, and what an idiotic thing by Supervisor John or whoever. We made that supervisor famous. So the issue is, bring that CA1 form to the doctor. Let the doctor see page 2. On the CA2 form doesn't have that. They don't ask the supervisor to give them, their opinion on whether or not something is medical or work related. because supervisors don't have medical licenses, so they're not wasting our time asking them that question. But definitely the CA1, bring it in. So now, another recap. Write your own statement. Give it to the doctor. Make them use it in their narrative. Take the CA1 form. I swear I said 4 things. Oh, don't let them use pain diagnosis and read your narrative before it goes in.
Yeah.
Okay? No cowardly statements. So you want to call the doctor out on this stuff. It's very important. Will you just... All right. Anybody that's calling during chats, we're not answering. Can answer the phone. Although it'd be funny to answer the phone during chats. You guys just hold on a second. All tens of thousands of you, just hang on. No, we'll come back. Don't worry about it. It's back.
No, this is what it's doing. Yeah, we look like little cartoon characters.
Nice.
So you go like that.
Oh.
It's okay.
Okay. And we're back.
Not yet.
Anyways, so we have like 1, 2, 3, 4 devices here so that we can make this happen. There's probably a better way to do this. But, you know, our sons haven't got that far in college yet. So once they get that far, they'll teach us what to do.
Oh,
I was just telling Aaron's taking podcasting, my son in Texas, and broadcasting and editing. I'm like, boy, you better pay attention, take good notes, because Dad needs some help. Anyways. All right, so we probably have some questions, but I want to make sure you all understand that there are things you can do to get your claim accepted. The last thing I'm going to say before we go to questions, and then I'll get back onto this, is that you're going to get a denial. It happens. Statistically, I think like 1 out of 7 federal employees has an accepted claim. That means 6 out of 7 don't, and that's a problem, right? And that's primarily because doctors aren't trained. But you can do something about it, and that's what I'm teaching you. But let's say you get a denial. What are you going to do about that? Well, every denial letter does 2 things. One, there's a paragraph that says specifically your claim is denied because. So you take that denial letter to your doctor and say, hey, doc, I need you to address this reason for denial in your narrative report and do a good job. And then all the stuff I just said, be sure that's in there. So, but the other thing is you have a right to appeal. And every denial letter comes with an appeal request form. And that's really important because you can do, and I like reconsiderations, but many of you out there like oral hearings. I don't know why. I don't like those. Oral hearings, you can use new information, but you only have 30 days to appeal. Reconsiderations, you can use new information, but you have 12 months to appeal. That's a big deal. And we primarily use reconsiderations, almost nothing else. In fact, I can't remember the last time we ever recommended anything but reconsideration, which means our doctors all write reconsideration narratives and get the claim accepted. So it's a real great opportunity for your doctor to do a better job on the second time around, or third, or fourth, or fifth. But, you know, you could do an ECAB, which is awful. I wouldn't do it. Or review the written record. So review of the written record is like reviewing what they already used to deny you. Does that sound like a bad idea or a bad idea? You know, so don't do that. I prefer reconsiderations. But just know that every denial you can reconsider. You can appeal. And you can do an infinite number of reconsiderations. Just don't miss the 12-month deadline on reconsiderations. And then you can just keep going. And as long as you don't give up, I'll never give up. Right, Tammy? Right, Scott? We'll never, ever give up. So you don't give up. Okay, so let's look at some questions.
Yeah, let me tell you guys this first. Everybody winds up messaging me or calling me and say, even our doctors, it's a lot of the time our doctors, I got a denial from your doctor. What do I need to do? First of all, everybody on here, tell your friends, you do not need to call me and tell me you got a denial. I can't fix it.
Call your doctor directly.
You've got to call the doctor and say, I got a denial. What do I need to do? So what Chris just explained to you, if there isn't a doctor in your area, that's what you do. With anybody that's going to federal injury centers, and there's a ton of you, hundreds of you, and you guys
thousands,
still,
I think.
Yeah. And you guys are saying, hey, I got a denial. What do I do? Again, I'm not the medical provider. I can't see your notes. I can't see your narrative. I don't see anything. So the only thing I do when you guys message me or call me is send it to their case manager and the doctor. So instead of you even calling me, call the case manager and say, I received my denial. I received my acceptance. You know, I got accepted. So there's no need whatsoever to call me, even if you don't have a doctor next to you. Go back at the beginning of this live, watch it again. We have hundreds of videos on here if you get a denial. And so he talked about what do you do when you get a denied claim. And we're going to go over some other stuff. after we go through some questions. So let's see.
And as you're going through, let's mention the doctors that are on watching that we haven't mentioned yet. But, our doctors are used to this. If they get a denial, they want to fix it. You're going to have to just bring your denial letter and let them do that. That's the difference between us and everyone else, is that we will never quit ever. All right. Your doctor in wherever that, we're not at, they might not do the same thing, but we will. So always don't lose hope. Bring your denial letters to the doctor and let them fix it.
Okay, so you guys know I got my eyes dilated. I still can't see, so I'm struggling a little. So Amy J, she said, thank you. I received an approval from Department of Labor for COP and COVID. Went to the Federal Injury Centers of Chicago.
All right.
Way to go.
So I got a COVID thing coming up soon because the rules just changed. I don't want to get into it now, but the rules changed. We'll do that soon.
Yeah. Ms. Martin said there is a rumor that there is a new law that will require employees to take OWCP medical breaks off the clock. Have you heard anything about this?
I haven't. And so we have a website that we use for all of our franchise doctors, and it includes the FICA bulletins that come out. There's no bulletins on this topic yet, so that's just a rumor that I can't substantiate.
We have Federal Injury Centers of Greenville on here. Federal Injury Centers of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, and Walker. We got Dr. Cooper on here with Federal Injury Centers of Phoenix, Alabama.
Phoenix City,
Alabama.
Basically Columbus, Georgia.
And Forest Park, Atlanta area.
Yep.
Miss Rosa said, I was so happy when you opened in Utah, but submitted a reconsideration has fallen on OWCP hiatus. What the heck?
Okay, so let me address this. Don't even say the next thing. Let me say this. In Utah. So Dr. Wood in Utah, he's experienced some growing pains, to say the least. Okay, he's had turnover. Not, look, I used to run these offices, and I know that's painful. But he's fully staffed. I just talked to him yesterday. I have another call with him tomorrow, so be patient. There were like 9 of you that went there, and he just wasn't staffed up. And, he didn't feel good about it, but it's just it's how it goes. He can't do the treatment on you without proper staffing because it's not compliant, and we follow all compliant rules. So give him a second chance. Trust me, it's going to be okay. He's got all the staff in place. He's fully trained and ready to go. With that said, feel free to continue with that. But I just want everyone to know we're aware, and this happens. Look, we're going to have some franchise offices that are going to struggle. It just happens. Look, not everybody can operate at the same high level that I operate.
Right.
I want it, but it's hard to do. But they're trying hard. And when it finally does get going, everyone's going to be very happy. So in Salt Lake City area, Dr. Wood's ready to go. Okay. He's got full staff, full training, ready to make things happen. So give him a chance.
Nicole, I had told you earlier, you said you needed help with your reconsideration. You got denied and you were rear-ended while delivering mail. Please message me because then I can get you over to Eric immediately, and I'll tell you the whole process if you haven't started it yet, what to do.
Yeah, if you were injured in a car wreck at work, you need a lawyer. They're going to send you a demand letter requiring you to pursue the third party. You're not going to do that by yourself. You need a lawyer. But the problem is people call PI lawyers, and this is not what you do here. You need a federal workers' comp lawyer, and the best federal workers' comp lawyer is a friend of all of ours. So give Gini a message, and she'll help you out there.
Kaylee said, how is your impairment rating calculated?
That's a great question. So in the beginning, I didn't tell you. I wrote some books. If you're new and you don't have the books, I'll tell you. They're called Breaking OWCP. So it's www.breakingowcp.com. Volume 1, 2, and 3. 1 is PDF only now because it's got the rules, laws, and regulations, and I want you to have that on your phone. So download it to your phone, and then when you need help, you just go to it and you just find the chapter, right? But in volume 2, I created what didn't exist before, and it is a calculator for how to calculate your schedule award. So I recommend checking that out. I'll tell you, it is your pay rate times your impairment percentage times the schedule award chart. I think that's it. But it's complicated. It's an algebraic equation that's even frustrating to me, and I do math. So Breaking OWCP Volume 2, I've got like a stack of books that much left. Almost none left. I think like 15 of them. And then it's going to be PDF only because I want it on your phone. You can't save these books in your pocket, right? They don't fit. But you can save them to your phone, and everybody puts their phone in their pocket. And I want you to put these books on your phone. So when volume 2 runs out, I'm not going to reprint. I need it on your phone so you can search it just like volume 1. Volume 3, I've got several boxes left because it's a newer book. And but I talk about schedule awards in all of them. Third-party injuries for the person before they had the car wreck, got rear-ended. We talk about that. Volume 3, Eric Blowers, the lawyer, wrote the section or the chapter on third-party injuries. So it's literally written by the best lawyer in the country on third-party claims. So check out breakingowcp.com. It'll answer those questions.
Yeah, Kaylee also said, I've been on workers' comp since 2020. Everything was denied. I had surgery a whole year later on my leg, and now I have neuropathy, and they will not expand it. I've had every test needed for it to expand. My doctor says it needs to be expanded for my impairment rating. Is that true?
It does. And to say they will not expand it just means they haven't yet. We do diagnosis expansions all the time. Dr. Cooper is the one that told me, Dr. Cooper's on here. He is the one that brought it to my attention that many impairment ratings are not ready to go until you do an expansion. So that's standard procedure. And if you want somebody that really knows their stuff on that, call Dr. Cooper in Atlanta, Forest Park, Georgia, or Phoenix City, Alabama. He is, as far as I'm concerned, he's the foremost expert on that topic.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but definitely they will expand it. If it's a valid diagnosis, it will get expanded. We just have to fix it. Whatever they're saying is the problem. We just have to fix that.
Yeah. Christine Young said, gosh, these letters are getting smaller. When I got hurt, I took the paper from work comp directly to the doctor's office, and everybody looked at me like I had 3 heads. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Because I was asking them to write a narrative. I can't understand how they didn't understand what to do. And of course, I got denied. I got my appeal in 1 month after I got denied, and it took 3 months to get approved after that. Remember what Chris said, if you're going to your primary care physician, a walking doctor, ER, or just a basic
or your local chiropractor, right?
They're not going to know what you're talking about. So yeah, they're going to look at you like you have 3 heads.
And by the way, what they're doing in their standard practice is easy for them.
Yeah.
They don't have to work very hard to make things happen. With OWCP, it takes effort. And for those of you that haven't heard me say this, I'll say it now. We have 100 doctors who say no for every one that said yes. So for the 50 whatever doctors we have, there's at least 500 that said no. They don't want to help you because it's too hard. The ones that are on here right now, they want to help you, and they know when they go to work tomorrow, they're going to have to do hard work, and they show up. But the other doctors just don't want it. It's too hard.
Yeah. Tammy said, so should I completely change doctors since apparently nobody knows what the heck is going on? I'm completely frustrated and fixing to tell the doctors to jump off of a bridge.
Well, I mean, you could do that for sure. And I got some bridges they could jump off of. But I'm not the guy that's going to tell you to change doctors. Although with this franchise company, Federal Injury Centers, we've got doctors all over the place, right? But we respect that it is your right to choose your own physician. So I don't try to persuade you to come to mine. We have these offices because we know you need them, but not because we require you to go to them. If you want to change. But that's a process. You do what you want to do. All right. If you want to stick with where you're at, we're going to keep helping you. If you want to change doctors, change doctors. That's your choice completely.
Carmen Sanchez said, would a schedule award cause an offset on SSDI and OPM disability?
Okay. So there's an issue here, and we've been seeing this. She was really startled at the end of the year last year in December. A lot of people were saying that they were getting demand letters that they owed money back, right? Because they were getting, generally speaking, they were getting double paid from OWCP, from Social Security, from OPM. So you want to make sure that you're not double dipping, right?
Yes.
And I'm not 100% sure because I'm not an expert on Social Security. On OPM, I know a lot about it. But Eric Blowers, our third-party lawyer, is also an expert in this topic. And if anybody would like to speak to him or one of his associates about this topic, Gini can get you on the phone with somebody there.
Just message me your number. Oh, and I know a lot of you have different Facebook names. If you could just put your real name, first and last name, and your phone number and tell me what it is that you're dealing with.
It'd be like my name being Cowboys fan 1 2 3 4 5. Well, hello, Cowboys fan 1 2 3 4 5.
Can you see Eric calling saying, "Hey, Cowboys fan"?
Hey, Cowboys fan 1 2 3 4 5. What's up?
Christine also said the doctor was a work comp doctor. He's an orthopedic doctor that I got off the work
comp list,
and
yeah.
Can you read it? Yeah.
I saw nothing but problems. So that work comp list that DOL has, they have this provider search tool. I've done this, and most of the time you can call like 8 or 10 pages of doctors, and they'll say, no, we don't take OWCP, or we don't know what that is, or we don't do work comp, or whatever. So they're listed because somebody in their office thought, well, hey, let's go ahead and get registered with Department of Labor while we're doing Blue Cross and Medicare. The doctor doesn't want it. And so that list is by and large is like awful. Yeah. It's terrible. You'll waste your time. You'll be frustrated. And because you don't know anything about it, you'll say, I can't believe Department of Labor is giving me this list of doctors that don't care. Well, I don't think Department of Labor knows they have a list of doctors that don't care. But at Federal Injury Centers, we have a list of doctors who do care, and it's growing.
And again, if you get a denied letter and it's with one of our offices, please contact the case manager and the doctor's office. I cannot fix it on my end. I can only give you advice, only so much, Chris and I, because we're not medical doctors. So you got to call them because they know your history. They know what's going on, because sometimes I'm trying to put pieces together from a message. And then the first question I'll ask is, where are you located? Yeah. And then I'll ask, is it one of our offices? Because if it's one of our offices, again, I screenshot it and I send it to the doctor and the case manager so they can help you. So there's no need to call me. And those of you that do get a denied claim and you're not around any of our centers, Google OWCP doctor near me with your city and state, and then find another doctor. I know a lot of you are saying, oh, going to one of your clinics, you want to go, but it's like hours away. We're trying. We're really trying.
I understand. I wouldn't want to make an hour's long drive either. I get that.
There's no doctors in my area that treat my condition on that list.
Yeah.
I understand.
Alicia, that's exactly right. And it's frustrating. And that's what prompted me to start this franchise, is that I knew that you didn't have doctors who wanted to help. Yeah. And I knew that I could recruit doctors that do want to help. And we have a partner, Joe. Everyone go ahead and get a lot of loves to Joe.
Yeah, he does a great job with
because this. Joe is, his primary job is bringing on offices. So the 50 whatever offices we have, Joe did that.
Yeah.
And, almost nobody has a Joe that's willing to just be a pit bull and go out there and work like crazy and go through those 100 no's for every one yes,
Yes.
And that's one of our strengths. It's that, Joe's willing to get through 100 no's to find a yes.
Yeah.
And nobody else will do it, but we do, thanks to Joe.
Okay, so we're going to shift it a little bit now. We're going to talk about, because a lot of you messaged me about when you're going through eComp or you get a letter, it says that your claim is pending, it's undecided, and it's in review. What does that all mean? What does that all mean?
So I don't think undecided is a thing, but if it is what it sounds like. We haven't decided yet. So if you look at your case file and it says your claim is pending, well, it's pending. They've reviewed it. Now they're ready to make a decision, right?
Oh, here's one that says undecided.
Yeah. Okay. Undecided.
Yeah.
And, if it's undecided, that means they're going to decide. All right. At least they've looked at it. Under review, they're currently reviewing it, right? Denied is denied, accepted is accepted. But, it's really important that you look at your eComp file and you stay on top of it, because you're going to be able to see things like, is my claim approved or denied? And what are my approved diagnoses? And while I'm at it, because I know she's watching, Tammy, be sure you go and look at Scott's file again tonight and take a look and see the approved conditions. Let's talk about that next time we talk.
Patrice, we have a location in Louisiana, in Walker.
And Joe is on here, and Joe said, tell me where you need new office locations, and I'll work hard to find quality doctors. Thank you, Joe. So that's Joe's thing. So he's here listening to you as well, because he wants to know where you are and what you need. Patrice said Louisiana. Okay, look, I like all of Louisiana, but let us know where you're at. We have an office in Walker, right outside of Baton Rouge, about half an hour out, Patrice.
Yeah. If you guys are going to message me, just message me after the live. And I can't really message tonight, but tomorrow morning I definitely will, because my eyes, I'm really struggling. It's really painful.
Amy said that, thank you, that we're both awesome.
Okay.
Well, for sure, she means like mostly I'm awesome.
I'm sure.
And you're a little awesome too.
Yeah. Let's go. What do we do if it says denied, undecided, review, or what? Yeah, all of that.
Just now. Like, okay, so we just dealt with every bit of that. You can move on to the next topic. You okay?
Yeah, my eyes and my head.
We just talked about all this.
All right, everybody is looking. Okay, I will take all the locations you guys are putting on here, and I will email it to Joe tomorrow.
Joe's on here watching.
He can't see these.
So New Jersey, Joe. So we do have a doctor in New Jersey that's being trained. Baton Rouge, we've got somebody close in Walker. Wisconsin, from Green Bay to Milwaukee, we're definitely working on that. We do have an office close to Madison, but it's in Illinois. It's like right on the border in Roscoe, and they're on here tonight watching. So, but yeah, hey, check out federalinjurycenters.com. The locations are on the top of the page. Click that, and you can see the offices that we do have. Knoxville, Beverly is one that we know about, and we're working on it. All the major cities in Tennessee we're in Memphis right now. And Denise in Atlanta, well, you're in luck. Forest Park. Dr. Cooper can see the airplanes landing at the airport from his office, so you're in luck there.
Yeah, but again, list it. Please don't just list the city, the state.
Yeah.
Please list
Tell us
the
what city.
city. And you guys have to remember, we can't put a federal injury centers like how McDonald's is on every street corner, sometimes even two.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's in a certain city, it's because this is what needs to be done.
Yeah.
I'm going to hop off of the live on my end, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to read you guys all the locations we have, and then we're going ahead and finish up with.
Now, while she's looking that up,
live.
I just want to reiterate a couple of points. A denial is not the end of the world. We hear all the time, "Oh no, it's denied. Too bad. It's too late." No, it's not. Look, you have 12 months to reconsider, so it's not over. Somebody said Framingham. All right, look, we're in Quincy and Norwood. And I know Framingham well enough to know that's close enough. So Quincy and Norwood, Massachusetts, you can find Jim. Okay. Close to Forest Park. Good, Denise.
I know you guys are saying that you're asking how long does it take when the doctor submits a reconsideration?
Well, the thing about that is the claim examiners don't have any rules that tell them how long they have to make a decision, so they just do what they can do. You got to stay on top of them. Unfortunately, the key is you want your doctor to get the narrative report on eComp as soon as humanly possible. That way the clock is started, and then you can write a letter, you can leave a voicemail, they all get transcribed and the claim examiners have to read it, and you can say, hey, what's going on? Framingham is 30 minutes from Norwood, Joe said. So yeah, hey, we're in Norwood. If you're in Framingham and you need some help, give us a holler. And the interesting thing about the Norwood office is, just candidly, we've struggled up there trying to, communicate with and work with the unions to try to get the word out that we're here to help. And some of the unions there have not been friendly, I'll just say. But I don't think you care about that. I think what you care about is getting your claim accepted. So, if you want your claim accepted, give us a holler.
Yeah.
We want to help.
Right. I'm going to go over all our locations. If it's not on here, we don't know if one is coming yet. That's up to Joe. So, and be patient. Okay. So
don't be patient. I'm not. Neither is Joe.
Okay. So it's alphabetized. So Alabama, Birmingham, Huntsville, Montgomery, Phoenix City. That's Alabama. Arizona, we have Gilbert. California, we have Newport Beach, Redondo Beach, and Thousand Oaks. Florida, we have Fort Myers, Land O'Lakes, Melbourne, Miami, Naples, Northport, Orlando, Palm Harbor, Pinellas Park, St. Pete, Titusville, and Vero Beach.
That's it?
That's all in Florida.
We don't have any more Florida? That's all?
That's all for now.
Oh.
Georgia, Forest Park. Illinois, Chicago, Libertyville, and Roscoe. Indiana, South Bend.
Go Irish.
Louisiana, Walker. Maryland, Silver Springs, South Baltimore, Temple Hills. Massachusetts, Norwood and Quincy. Mississippi, Gulfport. New York, Manhattan. North Carolina, in Charlotte. Ohio, Westerville. Oklahoma City.
Yep.
Pennsylvania in Royersford. Royceford. And I found out somebody just got killed there. A lady or something got shot.
Not in our office.
No, I'm talking about a Walmart. It's because I was going to text Dan. Not in our office.
Nobody got killed at Federal Injury Center.
No,
okay?
the name is just so unique. All right. South Carolina, there's one in Greenville. Tennessee, Memphis. Texas, we have Dallas, Fort Worth / Bedford, McKinney, and San Antonio.
Yep.
Utah, we have Cottonwood Heights.
Right outside of Salt Lake.
Yeah, 21 minutes exactly. Virginia, we have Alexandria, Chesapeake, and Woodbridge. And Washington State it's Bremerton. So those are all the locations. You can go find it on federalinjurycenters.com. We are going to make an effort to try to get the rest of the states that we haven't. I told Chris I'd like at least one in all 50 states, and Joe is working on it really hard.
Yeah.
So we need Tampa. We are coming.
Okay,
Tampa.
Barbara. Okay. We hear you.
Looks like Royersford, Pennsylvania is the closest. Can you read that? Did you read that? I can't see it. It's getting funny.
Yeah, it's somebody that has a group that's going out to Norwood, and Jim's giving a shout out to Norwood. Yeah, so, in Norwood, we're getting claims accepted. In the Tampa area, we've got, the Pinellas Park, St. Pete, Land O'Lakes, and Palm Harbor. I mean, we're surrounding it pretty good in the Tampa area. So if you're in Tampa, go ahead and come see us and let us get your claim accepted. Melly said, I already have an approved claim, hoping to finish up therapy. It's been a year and want to file for a scheduled award. Hey, I hear that. It's your right. So when you're at MMI from your doctor, you'll be eligible potentially. I don't know your diagnosis, but you need to be at MMI first. We'll do a scheduled award class coming up in the next couple of weeks. I know that's a big deal for people. They want to hear about it. So I'll do another class and teach about that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So Isela said, my case was denied due to wrong information from the manager or district. They answered with information for another office. What can I do? Okay. File a grievance. You need to, all right. So if they knowingly put false information, they violated the law. All right. So you might want to talk to your OIG. Right. But if they violated the law, talk to somebody who can deal with that. But file a grievance. Okay. If they put knowingly false information, that's a problem. Okay. That's against the law.
So I will, when we do a schedule award time, we're going to have Eric come on, and Chris and Eric will handle that together. I will talk to Eric tomorrow.
In other words, Eric will talk about it, and I just will have no responsibility whatsoever.
He's the one that's best at it. He'll be on here too on another screen, and I'll read the same questions, and he'll talk about it. So we'll get that scheduled with him.
Yeah.
A lot of Dunedin patients are asking for a new clinic for sure.
We can help with the 4 offices that Chris and Gini be at in the region. Yeah, I know. So I don't want to. I'm going to say this because Joe's right. And I think it's important to say. Some of you are going to an office in Dunedin and you're struggling, and I know you are. In the offices, as I hear, in chaos, and maybe claims are getting denied. Maybe you're frustrated. Maybe things aren't working out for you. You can change doctors. Right? You don't have to stick with someone for no good reason.
You're not comfortable with.
And I am the last person to tell anybody to change doctors. I said it in the beginning. I'm going to say it now. If you love where you're at, stay. But you're not stuck. Okay, you're not handcuffed to the office if it ain't working out for you.
Yeah.
So if it's not working out for you, I say this all the time. You can sit at the red light forever, or you can run it. And if you need to run it, let us know.
So if you're in the Dunedin area and you're looking for an office, we have one on Tampa Road, Federal Injury Centers of Palm Harbor, and we have one in Pinellas Park, Federal Injury Centers of Pinellas Park, and we have one in Land O'Lakes. We are working on a Tampa one, maybe by March, April. So hang in there. And you can always transfer because it's the same doctor that's going to be running the Tampa office.
In all 4 of our locations.
Yeah, so it's okay. So if you're going to a Pinellas Park, Land O'Lakes, or Palm Harbor office and you live in Tampa, want to stay in Tampa, we're going to get a clinic by March, April.
Yeah, and Diane, yes, Eric helps people in Arizona.
So the federal attorney does not need to be in your state, because a lot of you, when you message me and call, ask for an attorney. Just give me your information. What Eric does is he'll review what I send him, and then he calls the patient. And if he needs to refer you out to another attorney, because he doesn't do that. So Eric focuses on schedule award, OPM disability, and third-party accidents.
Yeah.
But
he has a wealth of knowledge and everything else. So we're all of us, you and us, lucky to have him as a friend.
Can you read that Christina one?
So, it's almost a year and I finally changed doctors. I got an MRI today and I'm waiting to see what happens why my foot is not fully functioning after breaking my ankle on my route. Jeez. Yeah, I hear that. So stick it out. make your doctor write a good narrative after the MRI, because that MRI report is going to really be helpful to you. And hopefully you can get your claim accepted from there. Let us know how we can help.
You need a federal EEO attorney. You just message me, Jill, and I'll get it over to Eric. And Patrice, do you have to pay him up front? I can't answer those questions because we don't know what he does. This is between you and the attorney.
Rosa asked about ECAB, and I don't have to read the question. So the deal with ECAB is I hate it. You can use it if you're there already, you're there already. Whatever their decision is, you can always do a reconsideration afterwards if you're not getting paid. We have to find out why you're not getting paid, Rosa, and then you need to write not you, actually, your doctor needs to write a medical narrative explaining medically why you've been out of work and why you deserve to get paid. That's what it takes. I don't care if you're at ECAB, oral hearing, review of the written record, or reconsideration. If your doctor doesn't write a disability narrative explaining why you're out of work, you're not getting paid. I don't care where you're at.
Yeah, and Eric does handle disability retirement as well. So if you need any of those things, just message me.
Does your claim need to be approved to get COP? No. You to get COP, you have to file a CA1 claim within 30 days of the injury, period. And then elect letter A, which is continuation of pay, on box 15 of the CA1.
Joe is working on something in Kentucky. We don't want to say where yet or if something's happening, but one will be coming soon.
Yeah, and I'm not actually sure what city it's
right.
in.
So yeah, we don't know. We leave all that to Joe. So we hear. It's funny because Chris and I will hear it right at the very end. What's opening?
Yeah. Well, and sometimes I'm involved.
Yeah.
So Joel asked me to get on, and I'll talk to the prospect, the doctor, and they have questions that they want to hear from me. Not that Joe can't answer it, because of course he can, but they want to hear it directly from me. So sometimes he gets me on too. But I'm not sure where the Kentucky office is.
Kentucky. What, do you see that one? Can you file an EEO when it's a work comp issue?
Yes, you can.
I was
EEO,
told you couldn't mix the two.
False. If your supervisor is screwing around, you can hit them with an EEO. It doesn't mean you're going to win, but there's no rule against it.
I'm staying quiet so you could read it because
I'm reading these.
Yeah.
So my doctor didn't write a good narrative, and I'm getting paid. I only get paid what I work, which is 4 hours of work. Okay, so I don't know what you're supposed to get paid. If your doctor's getting you paid anything, that's that's awesome, actually. But I'm not sure what you're supposed to get paid. A lot of times, it's good to help. It's helpful for you to go talk to your union and make sure that your supervisor is doing everything right. Okay, so Rosa came back and said, I'm not getting paid because I was sent back to work and got hurt on a new claim. Okay, you got hurt on a new claim. They denied the new case, but in the meantime, I'm off for the previous injuries. A damn mess. All right, so if you have a new claim, let's get that accepted. That's the issue. Once that's accepted, you'll have a really good chance of getting paid. And I know it's like, well, that sounds easy for you to say, Chris. Well, it is, because that's what we do.
Yeah, remember, when you guys are wanting to get a schedule award, you must have been told by your doctor that you have reached MMI, maximum medical improvement. That means there's nothing else that can be done to help you with your pain or your injury, and the spine is not a part of the schedule award.
All right, so Kathy says she's an MMI, and should she go ahead and get her schedule award? Absolutely. I say go ahead and just do it. If you're at MMI, go ahead and do the impairment rating, and then you'll just work out how you get paid. You can't receive OWCP benefits at the same time that you're receiving schedule award benefits, but at least it'll be there for you. Eric even says sometimes you want to go on disability for a little while so you can get disability in your schedule award, then go back on OWCP. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I would recommend talking to him about that. But the question is, should I go ahead and apply now for my schedule award? Why not? No, there's no downside to going ahead and doing it if you're already at MMI.
Yeah. Just because your claim is accepted, that doesn't mean you're at MMI. That's a complete different thing. So remember that. And also, you cannot get paid until your claim is accepted.
Yeah.
I say everybody's asking me all the time through Messenger, I need to get paid. It's been 3 weeks. You're not going to get paid in 3 weeks until your claim is approved.
Yeah.
So
you got to have your claim approved first.
And a lot of you are going to the ER, and somebody was telling me yesterday, I was telling Chris, she thought her claim is accepted because she submitted her consult. Like when you go to the ER, they give you a packet because this is what's wrong.
Yeah.
That's what she submitted. And so I said, can I see what your doctor submitted? Well, she submitted it on eComp, what she got to take home, like what was wrong with her. And she's like, I got denied. Well, that's not a narrative. A little paragraph is not a narrative.
Our narratives are like 5 pages long.
Yeah.
A 3-page narrative is short. Okay. So if you get something back and it's just like this much, that's not enough. Believe me, that's getting denied. Don't forget to tell your doctor to do a better job. All right. So a lot of this is somebody speaking with Dr. Cooper. That's nice. Dr. Cooper loves to come on and help, and it's nice to have a doctor on doing the medical stuff.
Any of our doctors can answer the questions.
Yeah. So that's one of the upsides here.
Yeah.
So if you're new here, you're getting us and we're teaching you stuff. Our doctors are on here. They're able to talk to you as a doctor, and you're able to talk to each other. And so this is like a community of people. There's no reason to leave here confused.
Yeah.
So if you're here, good for you. Tell your friends. I'd like to spend some time now just talking about what you do next. Especially if you're new, and if you're not new and you've been here, I'm going to tell you again, tell your friends. All right. We'd like everyone to share this with everyone else. Wherever you're watching from, share it. Let your friends know. You know, it's funny. I'll go into a group of like 200 federal employees, and I'll say, who here has Facebook? And like half of them will raise their hand. I'm like, okay, well, who's got a cell phone? They'll raise their hand too, right? I say, great, you all qualify for Facebook. So get a Facebook account. Get your friends involved in this stuff. It's important. Your coworkers, it's important. If you wait till you need the information, it's too late.
Yeah.
All right. You need it before you get hurt, not after you get hurt. I mean, you're all here. You're getting the information now, and it's nice. But I want you to have it before you need it. So tell your friends. Please tell your friends. We're here every week, and we're teaching this stuff. And, you have an opportunity to help someone else. Just like you're getting help right now. You're learning something you didn't know before. Tell your friends. They need to get here and learn stuff they didn't know before as well. So we're all in this together. You know, one of my books says you're not alone. The other one says we're all in this together. And that's the point. You know, it's the theme of what we do on Wednesday Night Chats. It's that, I'm teaching you. She's out here doing this outreach like in a way that nobody's ever done before in the history of the world. But what it really takes to be successful is you. So let everyone know that this is something that's happening, and tell them to come watch.
Yeah. Okay, I have a few more questions here. Danny said, my surgery was spinal fusion, which DOL covered. Is it possible to get a schedule award?
Yeah, so the spine generally is not rateable for an impairment rating, but if it causes problems into your arms and legs, it is. So it is possible to get a schedule award, yeah.
Amy J said, when a claim is accepted, do I bring the letter to the supervisor, or Department of Labor tells USPS to pay?
No, you don't do anything. So your supervisor has like one job. Fill out the forms and get the hell out of the way. After that, if it's not about filling out forms, they have no responsibility. Once your claim gets accepted, it's all medical from that point. Your doctor writes disability narratives. That's how you get paid. But what we train our doctors on is send you back to work when you can. The surest way to get paid is to clock in, and I have dealt with enough of you, like thousands and thousands of you, to understand that one of your biggest issues is not getting paid. So let's get paid. Let's have a CA-17 that writes reasonable restrictions. Go back to work. If your supervisor says, no, we can't accommodate your restrictions, you're getting paid. If they can accommodate your restrictions, you're getting paid. So that's what we want. We want you to get paid.
Yeah. Teresa Sanchez says, is there any form of schedule award for spinal issues that require invasive surgeries?
It has nothing to do with the surgery. It has to do with the symptoms. So as long as if you're having problems, I hope you're not, by the way, but if you're having problems in your arms, hands, legs, feet, then that's rateable.
Yeah, any of your extremities.
Yeah.
Christina said, I'm confused about many things. Is there any way I can message you with my problems? If anybody wants to message me after the live is done, there is a message button, just like Facebook Messenger. Just go there. Tomorrow, when I can actually see Claire, I will go ahead and respond.
Jill said, best advice you gave, show up. They'll figure it out. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Just show up. If you show up to any of our offices, we'll figure it out. We have a case manager full-time at every office whose job it is to understand your claim.
Yeah. So
we have doctors whose job it is to understand it and write narratives to fix it. Okay. And we have a treatment team that's there to get you better and back to work. And we have a policy to get you back to work because you need to get paid. So yeah, show up. We will figure it out.
Yeah, and like I said, go on our locations tab. If you're having any issues and you don't know how to do any of this, call the office that's closest to you, ask to speak to the case manager, and they'll talk to you and walk you through everything.
Rosa, we have 3 offices in Los Angeles County. Go to federalinjurycenters.com, check the locations tab. It's all we have right now. California is the hardest or second hardest state to have franchises. So much regulation.
Yeah.
We're working through rules, laws, and regulations. Okay. Otherwise, we'd have a lot more there.
Jim said, don't be discouraged if your claim is denied. Absolutely correct. A reconsideration took time, but it was finally accepted.
Yep.
Andrea Deckard said, I've been dealing with Christine in Oklahoma. She's so sweet and helpful. Well, that's really good to know. We like
Thanks, Christine. That. We really appreciate you being that way. Yeah, in Oklahoma City, the doctor there, I'm telling you right now, and he's on tonight, okay? He's just got this fire in his eyes. You got to go see him, okay? So check us out. Go to the locations tab of the website and go down to Oklahoma. There's only one office, but check it out for sure. You're going to be very happy.
Michelle Blair said, carpal tunnel. I had surgery on both wrists and was starting therapy before I started getting wage compensation because the surgeon had to write a narrative in order to get paid. Even though every appointment I had, I told them I needed a doctor's narrative. Oh, boy.
Yep. Hey, look, every appointment I said I need a narrative and you never got one. Understood. That's why we do what we do.
Surgeons really won't know that they have to write a narrative.
They don't want to write a narrative.
They
want to cut. They want to put you under, cut, fix, and get out and do the next one. That's what they do. They don't write reports. They do surgery.
Yeah.
In our Tampa area offices, we've got a network of doctors here that will accept your case basically on the word of the doctors of Federal Injury Centers. And they won't take your money. They'll just help you, right? But that's uncommon. It's just not that way any other place. But if you come to Tampa, to any of Dr. Lee's offices, Dr. K's offices, you get MRIs with no money out of pocket. You get surgeon consults, no money out of pocket. All your treatment and all of our treatment, everything at Federal Injury Centers is free to you. But we've got a network of people that's also free to you that have nothing to do with us except for they want to help. Yeah,
the thing is, the surgeons want to do surgery. They don't want to write a 5 to 9 page narrative because they want your claim to get accepted. There's probably, we're not saying that they can't.
They can.
There's a handful that can. We've heard it, but they don't want to do it. We've spoken face to face with surgeons. They're like, no, I don't want to see them if their claim is not accepted. So,
like, we have an orthopedic surgeon in Norwood, Massachusetts, and he wants to do it. He wants to write narratives, but he's very rare. Okay, Dr. Rob. There's not a lot of Dr. Robs out there that are surgeons and will also write reports. So you just got to know where you're going and go someplace that wants to write that report.
Yeah. Melody Pine, as long as you are alive, you can get a schedule award once the doctor says you're at MMI.
Yeah, there's a lot of timelines that are like deal breakers. Don't miss a timeline. This one is the one that I take the most seriously. Don't miss your schedule award timeline because that means you're dead.
Okay. Brianne Lucky, you said you're here. Read this one. My eyes are getting fuzzy again.
Okay, so sometimes if you read a long or you send a long message, it takes us a minute. Comp denied me again. Been going on since 2015. This time is because my original doc didn't write a well-rationalized explanation. Yeah, you think? For OWCP, according to them. So had a different doctor write a well-written letter. OWCP says it was a well-written, but they won't accept because it wasn't my original doctor who saw me at the time of injury.
Oh, brother.
Put it for another appeal. I'm in Michigan. Okay, here's what you do. Take that letter, give it to your doctor, have your doctor agree to it, and then sign it and do a reconsideration. Now it'll come from your doctor. As long as your doctor says, hey, yeah, I agree with all that stuff, and that doctor signs it, it's now that doctor's report.
Yeah.
Okay, so have that doctor sign off on that old report, assuming the doctor agrees with it, and then do a reconsideration. You'll be okay. If that was your only reason for denial, you should win.
So when you go to some of these doctors, whether it's like primary care or a specialist or whoever you think that's going to write your narrative, if they're not credentialed with DOL, they won't get paid. So that's between the doctor and DOL, not you. Okay.
Yeah. So Michelle said he wrote a narrative so that he could get paid by WCP. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that sucks. Maria said, how long does it take to get MMI? There's no time frame. You just, be alive. And otherwise, it's a medical decision. When your doctor says you're at MMI, then you are. Michelle, I was without wage compensation from January to the end of June. That's awful. I hope that gets worked out. That's everything.
The deadline for a schedule award is as long as you are alive.
Yeah.
That's
if you're alive,
the
Jim,
deadline.
you're eligible.
Yeah. We just don't want you to wait. And another thing that comes up a lot that everybody's been asking me, like I have somebody that messaged me. She said she's been retired for 5 years and now she realizes that her injury was due from carrying mail. You can't file. Even Eric said it's hard to try to get that approved.
Yeah, people ask us all the time, can I do something? The answer is always, you can.
You can, yeah.
But they're not going to approve it.
Yeah.
If you're retired, it's over.
Right, so today was sponsored by coffee. Wednesday Night Chats was sponsored live by coffee.
Probably needed some more.
We went over what happens when you get a denied claim, where to go, how to fix it. We have tons and tons of videos on denied claims. You just have to go through our videos, and I'm hoping our doctors are playing our lives in their therapy room so you guys can hear answers that everybody always asks on a weekly basis. So we really don't have any housekeeping. Nothing is scheduled.
Well, isn't there?
No.
Oh.
We are going to the California State APW convention where Chris will be teaching for 3 hours, but we're going to talk about that as it gets closer. We are going to be going on vacation the last 2 weeks in February and the first week in March because we need it.
Everyone else goes on vacation like during December, but we don't because that's when you're working the hardest. No, like federal employees work the hardest in Christmas time. And so we wait. We work with our franchisees. We work with you. We do our vacation afterwards these days. So that's what's happening.
Yeah. But yeah, again, if you get a denied claim from any of our doctors, just give them a call back. They can handle it. There is only so much Chris and I can do.
There's actually way more that I can do than what you think, but the doctor has to write that report.
And if the doctor needs help, then he'll reach out to Chris or Tom or our case managers. So you don't have to message me and tell me my claim was denied. What do I do? What do? You should call the doctor back. Even if it's not one of our doctors, call that doctor back, show them the denial. And there's a part that says why it was denied. And then the last page of the denial letter is the appeals form. Everybody always asking me, where is it? It's in that packet. So you just check off reconsideration.
Oh, I need to handle this. So Paul said you can call CNSI to see if the doctor is in DOL network before going forward asking for a narrative that needs tax ID. So that's true, Paul. But the problem is you call CNSI, they're going to send you to the provider search tool, and you're going to end up with 10 pages of doctors who don't know anything about OWCP and don't want to help. So just be careful with that. That's not bad advice you gave, Paul, but everyone else that's reading it, just understand you're going to call a bunch of doctors who just don't care.
And the doctors are probably not going to want to give you their tax ID number.
Probably not, but it is going to be very frustrating trying to get a hold of a doctor from the CNSI list.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
We understand that denied claims are a disaster and it frustrates you more. That's why we tell you to, give us a call first. Get these lives out to your friends and your coworkers and your family members that are federal employees, just so they know there's a place to go when a denial happens. They can message me, or how do they start something? But again, if it's one of our doctors, just give them a call back.
So this question is, when you go for your impairment rating, is it better to have a low or high percentage? Okay, so that's a loaded question. Physically, it's better to have a low percentage. 0% means there's nothing wrong with you. So that's obviously good. A higher percentage means more money, but more money also means something's wrong with you. All right. So it just depends on how you're looking at it. That's my answer to that. And Michelle says she wished she would have known about us back then. Tell me about it. So we're going to end with this, and we're going to end with this. Michelle said, I wish I would have known about you back then. And this is the problem. That you can solve. You're going to have friends that say, I wish I would have known. Don't wait. Tell people tomorrow. Tell people tonight. Share this live video when it's finished. Just hit share and share it to your network, because people need to know right now. You have people at work that are struggling. Right now it's happening. You have people at work that are contemplating having to move out or being evicted, or they can't afford dinner because they can't work. People need this right now. Okay. So don't let someone else be the next person that says, I wish I would have known about you then. Every single person watching has an opportunity to help somebody. All you got to do is share. So, you probably go to a lot of places and they're like, share, whatever. Look, when we say share to save a life. You're saving someone's life financially or actually, okay? Share this. Let your friends, let your coworkers, and if you don't have friends at work, let's work on that too, and have friends that are coworkers. But share this with the people that you work with that need the help. You're going to go to work tomorrow, and you're going to look at people who can't lift stuff over their shoulder, that can't walk, that are limping, that can't pick things up off the ground, okay, that have tears in their eyes, that are frustrated. All these things are happening to your coworkers. You have an opportunity to fix it. And that's what we expect. Like, I'm going to be here every week to help you, but I expect you to bring me more people to help because they need it. Okay, this is free help. If you're here for the first time, you're learning something you never knew before. And we're going to keep doing it every week. So bring your friends, okay? I don't want the next person to say, I wish I would have known about you then. We have too many people like that. You can fix that, okay? I'm talking to you. You can talk to someone else and bring them to us. So bring us your friends.
Yeah. And last thing, if you're looking for the books, go to breakingowcp.com. There's PDF and some soft covers still available on volume 3. If you need to get in contact with me for schedule award, third party, OPM disability, retirement, message me with your real name and your phone number and tell me a little bit about what's going on. If you're looking for locations, you can find it all at federalinjurycenters.com. If you want to look at all the videos that we've done in the past, they're all listed under the video tabs. Again, you can find us on YouTube, LinkedIn, several Facebook pages, Instagram, and TikTok, like we're streaming right now.
So Joe said, brother and sisterhood starts with you. Let's help each other. That's exactly right. And Christina said, I got referred here by a coworker. That's exactly what we're talking about. So many of you are here because someone else told you to come here. Now you tell someone else.
Yeah.
Everyone just tell somebody, please. Help a friend.
Yeah, when I post what's happening, what we're going to be talking about, you guys got to share it right away. Then you can get your friends to see on your Facebook
And
page.
Mary said, without this site and you guys and this sharing, nobody there is willing to help. That's right. But we are. Okay, this is what we want to do. We're passionate about it. So please bring your friends to us. Yeah. Please, please, please. And Judy, thank you for the Christmas card. Thank you for all the nice messages. Yes. Thank you for following me on TikTok. And the rest of you, follow Breaking OWCP on TikTok. Look, if you want to just like go and watch somebody act stupid and embarrass themselves, go to my TikTok page. Go to Breaking OWCP. That's me. And you will see me embarrass myself. You should have seen what I did over the weekend. I had a rock concert right here. I was DJ Chris. So go check it out. Breaking OWCP on TikTok. All right. So listen, we really appreciate you all being here. Please tell your friends and come back next week because next week I'll bet you we're going to say something important. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I'll let you guys know by this week if Eric will be on next week to do schedule award because it's such a big topic. So I have a FIC crush, wealth of knowledge.
Joe, I'm going to assume that's on her.
So we will see you guys next week. I don't know if Eric will be available, but I will let you guys know for sure. I will definitely post it because we have thousands of people that are on when Eric is on.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Hey, listen, it was really fun being here tonight. We really love you. We appreciate you being here. Please tell your friends, and we're going to see you next week.
Bye, guys.
All right. You in that one. Good night, everybody.